didn't see you there.
Welcome to Yeshiva Daf.
Yeah, we're saying the
Shir sponsor Louis Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom Levas Yitzchok. We're holding Basra Daf Kuvov. We're in the Mishnah in the beginning of Daf. Zok the Mishnah. B'simonov u b'mitzarov. So first it goes and says, I'm going to sell a land, a base core, as we mentioned in the previous Mishnah. And he says, I'm doing it b'simonov u b'mitzarov. Meaning, as you look at the first Rashba in Amud, b'simonov b'mitzarov, orim l'chaver b'skurov, ani moich l'cho, v'toich ha'simonim v'ha'mitzorim alalu, sha'atoroye akoil kach loch. In other words, he's going and saying, here, you see this? Here's the post. Here's the pole. Here is a tree. This is what it is. We're talking about specific earmarks. This is where it is. This is what we're talking about. The landmarks. Sorry, that's what it is, right? So, if so the buyer is buying whatever it is because he sees it's right there. This is what I'm selling you. But still, the person said base core. So therefore, we say if it's less than a shtos, then you say that's fine. In other words, a person is willing to buy, even if he's he's willing to buy to get even a sixth less than what he expected. Only 5/6, which is much more, as Rabban points out, than the shear that we said in the previous one, which is roiva. That was roiva l'seyo. Here we're talking about kav l'seyo, because every seyo has 6 kav. So we're talking about 4 times the amount that we spoke about in the previous Mishnah. But because he said this is the landmarks over here, so he's buying that. At shtos, but if it's more than shtos, up to shtos, yinake, then you have to give it back. Then you have to fix it.
What does it mean here, shtos? Why does that come into play at all?
So what Yom is asking is that the shtos, where do we find shtos in general? We find shtos by a no. Is this a no over here?
No, but
there's not a no.
The reason why you have shtus by no is the shtus here.
So the concept of no is the idea, that's what you have more than shtus bitul mekach. There ain't no no like occurs, as the Rashbam says. There's no no like by land.
Well,
but here it's a shear, Chazal said.
Well, why is up to a shtus okay? Because the person's either...
No, and Mammon we learn from Psukim.
Right.
But here we're saying the idea is that's what a person is assuming that's what a person is willing to give up. If you come and say, listen, I'm giving you this field is a basically saying, it's almost like saying the words, this field is approximately the size of an acre. I'll tell you exactly, it goes from that post over there to that tree over there.
Approximately a base core, then it'd be fine.
But that's what they're saying. When you're saying B'simonu Mitzarov, you're basically saying it's approximately. You're saying this is what it is. You see this area, this landmark, this is what it is. This is base core, which means basically it's about to be core.
There's no basis, if there's no bottom line, how can you increase it 60?
No, because he said base core. He said the word base core.
What is it base core?
The Shbab says no, because this good arrow. It's a continuation of the previous Mishnah. Look at the previous Mishnah. How does the previous Mishnah start? Right, actually the Mishnah before that. It starts in the Mishnah of Kuf Gimel on base. This is a good point. Very good point. In Kuf Gimel on base, we have a Mishnah. The Mishnah starts with saying base kur offer ani moich lecha. Kuf Gimel on base. The next Mishnah is the continuation. In Daf Kuf Dal on base, where you're saying mida bechel ani moich lecha and chesan yaser on a base kur. And now our Mishnah Kuf Gimel Dalef is a continuation. Base kur, I said b'simon over mitzarov. All of that goes into the words of base core. So then, if it's less than a shtos yiyoy, which means it's fine, it's part of the sale. But more than a shtos, at shtos, up to shtos, yinake, you have to give it back. Either the seller has to give back, we have to give back the land, or the money, and the buyer has to give back. You took too much.
Why is this different from the Mishnah we said, the more or less?
More or less is only a roiva, like a much smaller shear.
Yeah,
here
right. It's a much smaller share.
Yeah.
Why is it? Because
here he told him. Yeah.
But he's still saying the guy doesn't know. He says it's approximately.
So a person is more mevater when I see what it is. I'm looking. They say, "They see this land. This is the land I'm selling you. It's basically base core. So, you know what? I'm not going to measure. I mean, this is very, very I can tell you in real estate, right? You go and tell a person, well, this apartment is 1,000 square feet. Everybody knows 1,000 isn't exactly 1,000. He comes, he sees an apartment, it's 2 bedrooms with a kitchen, it makes sense, it's 1,000 square feet. He takes a measurement, it comes out to be it's not 1,000, it's 972. Nobody will have a problem. But he takes a measurement, it comes out to be it's only 600 square feet. God, there's not 1,000 square feet, There's a certain exaggeration, a certain, approximation, that you're fine with. But certain more than that. Now, so the Mishnah just said, if it's less than a shtus, igir. Ad shtus, meaning it's more than a shtus, until you reach the number measurement of shtus, then you knock it, then you go and you fix it. Then you have to give it back. Says the Gemara, what about shtus itself? What do you mean to shtus? Says the Gemara, itma. Avura Amar, shtus itself, kepochad mishtus. It's like less than shtus, that you mevater in it. Yida imer, shtus ki esem mishtus. It's more than shtus. Avura Amar, shtus kepochad mishtus. It's like less. Harikoma. That's how you read the Mishnah. Pochad mishtus, less than shtus, v'shtus bechlal, meaning pochad mishtus, up to shtus. Higir. So then the person gives his mevater. Now he said mishtus, but if it's more than that, yinaki. Then you have to give back, you have to pay back the difference. Shtus, more than shtus is like more. Harikoma. Pochad mishtus higir. If it's less than shtus, so then higir. But at shtus, v'shtus bechlal, up to shtus from the top. Until you reach shtus, then you knock it. Says the Gemara Mesivei. Question. V'simonu v'mitzarov pichet shtus or shtus. That's what it says. It's a brisa. The brisa says our case. If a person gives a base kur, and he says v'simonu v'mitzarov, and then there was either less than a shtus or more than a shtus, hareyu kishum hadayonim higiyoy. It's like shum hadayonim. What happens to shum hadayonim? As the Rashbam brings, look at the Rashbam. Besimonov umitzora picha shtus or iti shtus k'shuma dayonim higir. Zog the Rashbam. K'sus perek halmon mizon. It's not shuma dayonim. When the dayonim do a shuma, they do a valuation appraisal. Shepicha to shtus or iti shtus. They did less than a shtus or more. Michu and bata. That's bad. Shuma dayonim beizin sheyodu lo shum nichse soimim lemocher lemoz leishav abonis. The Beis are doing a cheshbon, so then the din is that if they did a mistake, so then it's over, right? In other words, it's not a good shuma. Michon bottom. So what did it say over here? Areyu k'shuma dayanim. It's like shuma dayanim. And what is the shuma dayanim? Higiyoi. Higiyoi. Now, what does higiyoi mean? And we'll address that in a moment. Higiyoi means, what do we say in our Mishnah higiyoi? Higiyoi means you give up. It's not a mistake. So the Gemara is going to address it in one moment. Because the word higiyoi means that the person gives up on his right for the extra. So we'll get back to higiyoi in one moment. So the Gemara right now addresses the first line. When you go to Ksuvis, you see over there that shtus, a 6, is like more than a 6. And there, so the raya that what? What do you see from here? That a shtus is more than shtus, meaning a question is on Rav Huna that says shtus is like less than shtus. We're comparing our Mishnah to Shuma Dayanim, to the evaluation of Dayanim, but Dayanim, if they made a mistake, shtus or more, it's a problem. So we're saying that here it's the same thing. And now we have two ways to read the Gemara, because there's two different explanations of the Rashbam and Taisus. So let's say the first one. By the time according to you, higiyoi katani. What do you mean? It says higiyoi. It says that he gives up on it. So, if you understand that we're comparing our case to Shuma Dayanim, so you say anything more than shtus, you have to give back. So why you say higiyoi? Higiyoi mashma that you don't give it back. So says the Gemara. So here we have two girsas. The girsa of our Gemara is the Rav Huna is continuing to talk. Elo kishuma dayanim, v'loi kishuma dayanim. It's like shuma dayanim, but not like shuma dayanim. Kishuma dayanim l'shtus, v'loi kishuma dayanim dilu asa batal metar v'lu acha higiyoi. So, what does it mean? It means is that kishuma dayanim, v'loi kishuma dayanim. What is Rav Huna saying? Let's first of all just read the words of the Gemara. According to the Gersa that we have, Rav Huna is saying this whole sentence. What about higiyoi? I have a problem with higiyoi. Elamai, you have to tell me it's like Keshuva Dayanim but not Keshuva Dayanim. At Keshuva Dayanim, that it is Shtos. For the Keshuva Dayanim, there is Batal Mekach, and here is Higiyur. So what is Ravuna saying? Ravuna is saying, even though it says we're comparing it to Keshuva Dayanim, we're not comparing it completely to Keshuva Dayanim. We're comparing it somewhat to Keshuva Dayanim. So we're saying Keshuva Dayanim is also Shtos, but not for the same thing. That is right? So we're saying Keshuva Dayanim Higiyur, meaning that the measurement of Shtos is right. But not that we're comparing to Keshuva Dayanim. Keshuva Dayanim, Shtos and more is Batal Mekach, and here Shtos or less is Higiyur. That's even according to Tosfos. The Rashbam says, according to Rashbam, and we'll see both things inside to explain it better, is the Rashbam says we have, and this is the gears that the Bach brings over here. The Gemara says, the Taimich Higiyur Katani. So Ravuna by this answered the question. You're asking Keshuva Dayanim Higiyur, but it says Higiyur. So how do Rabbi have a raya against me? It says like Shuma Dayanim, the same as Shuma Dayanim. It's Shtos, and Shtos is Higiyur. So our raya that Shtos is Higiyur, meaning that Shtos, you're Mevater. So the Gemara, Omachav Yudo, let's have to add according to this, in these words. Omachav Yudo, right? Keshuva Dayanim, look Keshuva Dayanim. Keshuva Dayanim, Shtos, look Keshuva Dayanim, you also but the Mekah, but Higiyur. Meaning we're compared to Keshuva Dayanim, but not completely. Because here, there will be Higiyur, and there not. Now, in other words, we're comparing it somewhat to Keshuva Dayanim in terms of Shtus and more, according to Yudo, but not for the result. Let's see how these things play inside the way the Rashbam will tell you say it. Look at the Rashbam. Rashbam says, let's see the start for the words Omacher Huno for the time Higiyur Ktani. So the Rashbam, Temash Kipochim Shtus. V'ad Mikshel Mireisha that we comparing to Keshuva Dayanim, Tikshel Miseifa that says over there Higiyur, which means Mevater. Elavadai, what do you have to say? Harikama. Piches Shtus or Shtus Higiyur. Keshuva Dayanim Damrei Nami Higiyur. Also, Keshuva Dayanim, there is a concept of Higiyur. Well, where do we see Higiyur by Keshuva Dayanim? So the Rashbam changes the Gemara. We wanted to bring around Shuma Dayanim, that Shuma Dayanim, if they made a mistake, they have to return it. No, this is going like a Shum Gamliel, if they made a mistake, you don't have to return it. Right? So, right away we're saying, no. By Shuma Dayanim, Higiyur. And also by Shum Gamliel, that's by Shuma Dayanim, like less Shtus, and the same thing over here, Shtus and Pogam Shtus, Higiyur. The Kashla of Yudo, what about Yudo? Yudo says that Shtus is like more. Umachav Yudo, Lidinam Elakashu. Take out the roots like Keshuva Dayanim, like Keshuva Dayanim. We can say it's not exactly Keshuva Dayanim. The Hadik Tani Gir, Lam Yishu the Shtus, Ave Mechilo, Kipogam Shtus. Told them the Shtus, you're Moichel, like less Shtus. Uloilo Kishtus, Kesem Shtus, V'yamsir. Shtus really like more, and give it back. Hadik Amidam, the Keshuva Dayanim, Hadim Yil B'Shtus. Kegel the Keshuva Dayanim, Lam Mechilo, Achanam Lam Mechilo. Then we're just saying that the shtus itself, you're not moich. Look at Keshuva Dayanim. Keshuva Dayanim has shtus bitul mekach, the whole thing. K'tal also b'chei batel. If you do al chei giyoi, kloima ina mekach batel and nikol kayim b'yachzer. In other words, according to the view that you're saying, it says the word higiyur. So when it says higiyur, look Keshuva Dayanim, it says according to the Rashbam, Ravuna is saying, we're not going according to Rabban, we're going according to Shimon Gamliel. The by shtus, the mekach is kayim. Like by ear, higiyur. So they're both the same. So we no. It's not exactly Keshuva Dayanim. It's the concept of Keshuva Dayanim, but the result is a little different. The Tosfos learns, if you look at Tosfos, last Tosfos in Amud, Hagasim and Taimech, Hagiyoi Ktani, Keshuva Dayanim, look Keshuva Dayanim, Ve'achi Perusha. Here's the Perush. Amachav Huno, Adam actually the same Diktani Hagiyoi. It says Hagiyoi Mevater. Temashu the Shtus, Kepogam Shtus. Elad Ktani, Keshuva Dayanim, how you compare the Keshuva Dayanim? Labi Shuda Leavi Kiesa Shtus. Not because the Shtus is more like more. Keshuva Dayanim l'shtus, the kemoish shiru awesome. The same way there we're playing with the number shtus. That's all I'm just showing you, that the measurement is a shtus. That's all. So that in other words, two ways to explain the Gemara, but the idea is we're comparing the Keshuva Dayanim but not completely. Says the Gemara, Papa Zovan Aro Maugav. Papa bought a land from this person. Says the Gemara of Kuvam base. Homelay have a string girui mission. says the measurement is 20 giri. That's the measurement. Right? That's the measure of the field. For loyavoy, says the Gemara, it's a giri is sale. It's 20 sale the measurement. For loyavoy lechamishra, it says it's not 20, it's only 15. You said 15. Also, so you agreed. You agreed. You said you gave you. He told him. He saw the field before, and it's basically like saying in our Mishnah,
Why is it the same thing as the Mishnah?
So,
Because here he specifically says,
the Rashbam says, we're talking about that's the case. He said,
but he says right here, Bava Esra.
no, it's the same like our Mishnah. Base score, he says it's a 20,
Oh, I see.
so he says only 15. He says, you accept it. So 1 second, this is more, this is a 20%. Says, no, but that's if someone doesn't know the field. Now I don't know exactly the measurement. But he already know the measurement. He knew. Talking about a case that a Papa knew, he was familiar with the field. So the more that stream on Malay, you said 20. How do you explain these words? On Malay, that default question. It's so good, it's like a 20 say or yard. Says the Gemara now. Now, the next part of the Gemara, L'chur, is not shaykh.
So if Kachava and he paid for it, then he didn't get paid the right price.
Yeah. Now, you can say that's what I meant. That's the discussion. The Gemara now says like this. We're talking, how are we getting now to the next part? So you look at the Rashbam. The Rashbam says, talk about different measurement. We don't say it's batel. No kadami la'achti. Well, come on. We're going to see a Gemara later. The two brothers are divided. So we'll see they gives back when two brothers are divided. Because we went that. I want to tell you that a lot, right? A lottery, a raffle works. So we talk about a goyim. So here the Gemara is introduced to, we're going to base Yeshiva learn in length and a richus g'dayla throughout Chag HaSukkos Haba Alin V'Lo Toiva. We're going to learn about goyim, about Yishneichim, and how they divided Eretz Yisrael. But right now we're going to talk about we're going to start. Tanya V'Yisrael Ochim Shecholku, the brothers divided. Kivat She'olo Goyro Le'echod Mehem Konu Kulam. If you have a goyro, even for one of them, Konu Kulam. How Konu Kulam? So the Rishbam goes on to discuss it. But basically, if it's two brothers, so one of them got a goyro, the other one is, or if it's three brothers, so you come and say one of them got his chelek, so he got it, and the rest will have the rest to do another goyro or to divide. Konu meaning that we're claiming that we gave up on that chel. My time. Eretz began. They start with the goyro of Kam goyro. We see the raffle works. So what do you mean? Yeah, but there was a kalpi. The kalpi was that they have a kalpi of shvatim, of tchumim. That's a special, where they put the lat, and you have vitumim. It works in a certain way, as we'll see in Yesh Noichli. No, we failed by Eretz Yisrael a raffle, and here because they agreed to each other to work it, right? Look at Lashon Rashbam. No, I don't need. Should the guy be believed Shalom Umat to me Shala girl Miyat? So here they have a Gemira's Das. The Gemira's Das works. The Goyal works. The Gemira's Das is an opening for a big thing in the Achronim. How exactly it works, but we'll take the civil understanding. The Gemira's Das helps it to work. Says the Gemara, Itvar. Shnei Akim shecholku, two brothers split a field. Ubaleim ach medina seya. Right? Came up third brother. Comes Reuben, Shimon divide a field. Levi comes, I won my piece of the field. Rav Omar Batlo Machlekes. Rav says, sorry, it's batal. You have to go divide it again. The original chalukah. You have to redivide it. Shmuel Omar Mekamtzi. Shmuel says no. We will go and we will do Mekamtzi, meaning each one will take a little bit from them, right? And each will give a third of his chelik. Now that's Mekamtzi. How does it work? Rosh Bam learns that he does it without a goyim. Each one will give a little piece. Look at Rosh Bam. Rosh Bam says,
but it still has to come out of third to each.
Yeah, the size will be the size, but how do you do it? Each one does his own way. Look at the Rosh Bam. Mekantzim noitel kol echod shlish michelkoi v'naisim lezek. Everybody has they inherit 6 fields. Each one took 3. Ubal lemach comes a brother. Each one gets 2 fields and they're shoving. So if you look at the Taisis beginning, look at it's the Taisis that goes on throughout the whole Amud. But if you go there, Taisis says in the beginning, says the Taisis, the caution, why? For you should say, I prefer the other field. For me, that's worth more. The count is become if the goyim in latil in kol echad v'echad bnei atzoy ilim shteim yachad. Yeshiva cheg v'asakas. So why do you do that? So how does it work? So Tai's asking a question. He says, why would he get it without a goyim? Well, let's see. He's going to say they took the brother number 1 took field A, B, C, and brother number 2 took field D. Now they said to him, okay, brother number 1 gives him field C. Brother 2 gives him D. It's not a one C and D.
You said that each one he gets a piece of each field.
Yeah. No, each one gives 1 field. A third. The Rebbe says, I have 3 fields, give them 1 of my fields. He says, well, I don't want this field, I want the other field. What do you care? It's the same field. No, I like the other one. It has a better view. I want the other one. I like the other one. It's close to our place. It's ma'alin kivei kibar goyim. For me, this is worth more. I want that. Why are you giving me this more than that?
But those who want to say
Mekamtzi means each one. So according to Rishbam, the two brothers, each one gives 1/3 of what he took and gives it to him.
There's no goyim.
No goyim. I mean, they did a goyim to begin with, but afterwards, it says Rishbam, why? It says the real Fashri. Look at the Taisis. Mekamtzi goyim yesh leishos sodes lakhu kol echod sode v'ashlish is cholku. They took those 3 fields. One, they took each one, and the third one they divided. They do a goyim. Then it will work. So what does it mean in Mekatzin? So that's what it is. In other words, I can keep what I had before. I don't have to do a goyim again. I took these 3 fields, A, B, and C. A, brother 1 took A, brother 2 took B. Brother C, they split. Comes the third brother, you do a goyim on all 3 fields. If you got C, so A and B stays the way it was. You don't have to redo it again. According to Rav Shita, you have to go and do the whole thing again. You have to start from scratch. Only Rav Nachman, the Rav Dom, it's all bottle. You have to go back to the beginning. You have 3 brothers. 2 of them did a division. You want to tell me it's bottle? In other words, no. If 2 of them went and did a division, the third one must follow the first 2. That's how the Rishbam explains. So the Rishbam learns that the third one will just get whatever they got. Even though they're mechalik below daitis, disagrees. It's very similar to the previous cases. No, we're talking about that they did a goyim for the third one. He got that field. So similar discussion. Can I force the division on the third person or not? So what's the difference? So there we know, depends on the Rashbam Pirush or Teis Pirush, that if you have three people, let's say three brothers, and two of them went and made a division, it impacts the third one. They don't have to do it again. So why here, when there was two, and then came a third one, you do have to do it again. There they knew it's three. They just two did it on their own without asking the third one. But here they didn't know three from the beginning. They did it for two. That's a mistake. Go do it again. That's what the Rav wants. So according to Bishwul, that holds the Bekamtzi, that means that the din stays. As we saw before, right? We saw this in the previous daf. If someone goes in and says, I'm selling you kur for 30, so it means until I don't finish the whole thing, it's not finished. Kur b'shloishim sale b'selo, but if you said kur for 30, sale for what? And right? So what do you see over here? You're saying until you don't reach the full 30, and we're talking about the question of the Gemara is for the first part. You're saying that you're going the big one is not chal until I finish. So I still don't complete what I have to do. I can change the whole thing. I don't say whatever happened. So here I divided the fields, but I divided it wrong. I did only 2 out of 3. So you have to go back to the beginning. Right? So you see, so that's the question. If you see the end of the Rashbam in there, so he says, even if the Keach, look at the last Rashbam. He's taking whatever he deserves, put on the right shear. Why? Easy work to take it. So whatever you did. How are you going to get royally? Even though I've got the loy ball even though you didn't get the whole thing. Says the Gemara, oh no, there's different. Everything is something that the seller and the buyer are both very happy to do. Why are they very happy to do? Because the seller that says, I don't want the sale to be chal until it's still finished. Because maybe something's going to change in the market. Maybe it's going to become more expensive. I could change my mind. And the buyer says the same thing, just the opposite. I don't want to finish the sale until I'm done. Because maybe the market will decrease in value, so I could change my mind. So they all want to keep it, hanging until the last amount. So there it's a takana for the lokach and the moicher. But shaking here it's not. So here we say that whatever you did, whatever you don't have to do, you'll do it later. That's how the Gemara answers these two sugyas. Very good. We'll stop over here. Please continue from here tomorrow. Please